the grind season. This is Anthony Sain alongside Jason Smith of the Jason and John Show, which you can hear every Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. on 92.9 ESPN, which, of course, is an Odyssey station. You guys are either watching us or listening to us via several methods. We applaud you for however you're doing that. You might be watching our handsome faces on the YouTube page, Odyssey Sports. You may be listening to us on the free Odyssey app or wherever you listen to podcasts. And we thank you guys for doing that. This is our first season doing this podcast, which covers the Memphis Grizzlies. It's playoff season here in Memphis. The excitement is in the air. The excitement is buzzing. We just watched the most horrible game of basketball probably in the history of the NBA. In the NBA play-in game between the Lakers and Minnesota Timberwolves that decided who would be coming to Memphis, who would be coming to FedEx Forum for game one on Saturday at 2 p.m. And that team, Jason Smith, will be the Los Angeles Lakers. I felt it in my spirit. I felt it in my guts. I felt that it was going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's who we got. I watched the play-in game, watching the Minnesota Timberwolves beat them for pretty much their entire game. Saw Minnesota pretty much crumble. Not anything special the Lakers were doing. Minnesota just played completely horrible. Didn't score a point at all for the last 6 minutes of the game. I think until those 3 free throws by Mike Conley at the end, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the only points they scored. Didn't score a field goal at all for the final 6 minutes of the game. That Minnesota, I was really hoping to get the Minnesota team because Anthony Edwards had an injury. They're just dismantled. I was like, yeah, we would smack those dudes, but we're going to get the Lakers. I have so many opinions, so many thoughts, Jason Smith. I'm going to hand the ball over to you. Tell me your early thoughts about this series between the King, LeBron James, Anthony Davis coming to town against our Memphis Grizzlies starting this Sunday at 2 p.m. at FedEx Forum.
I mean, it's exciting. Nobody's ever put LeBron James out in the first round, and you got an opportunity to be part of that history. You got the Lake Show coming in here. So in terms of the NBA eyes, really in terms of the first round, all of them are going to be on you. And you got a team led by Ja Morant, a guy who I believe saying is going to be on a mission this month to, not just we talk about redemption because that was the word that the family had on the hoodie and trying to rebuild Ja's image, but redemption. A great series against the Lakers, a potential series next against Golden State if they do what we think they're going to do and knock off Sacramento. Can go a long way in rebuilding that image and getting people to forget about the stuff that's happened off the court with you and to get it back on. And you think about it, with the way this All-NBA voting's gone, we've seen the counter lawsuit where he's blaming some of the stuff with the kid on possibly making All-NBA. What I know is you're going to have a motivated Ja Morant with a chance to make a real statement. So maybe saying, we might be talking about biggest buzz around here, maybe even bigger than 2013 when they went to the Western Conference Finals, because this would be a different kind of run to the finals if you're dispatching LeBron and knocking off a Golden State team that is the defending champs. So big opportunity, and it feels like the Grizzlies are rightly poised to make some history.
The kids these days, Jason Smith, talk about making a movie, and if the Grizzlies run to whatever far they go in the playoffs includes beating LeBron James and eliminating the Golden State Warriors, that would just be truly a movie, type story or whatever. A lot of national predictions are out. A lot of people are just kind of playing this like almost like the Lakers are the favorites, almost like the Lakers are the second seed, almost like the Lakers won 51 games and really went through a lot of turmoil and still stayed at the top of the league. It's kind of hilarious when you really think about it. I was listening to Max Kellerman. He was kind of sharing his thoughts on it. Of course, Skip Bayless said what he had to say. Draymond Green chimed in, gave his own analysis of it. It's all funny stuff, man. And it's just you would think that the Grizzlies didn't play 82 games and we're literally at the top of the West, the entire season. You would think that they haven't shown that they're a good team. You would think that they don't have 2 NBA All-Stars with a guy in Desmond Bane who's clearly a star-level player playing, out of his mind. It's wild. It's wild stuff. I haven't really paid much attention to it. I don't want to get too fired up about it. I'm probably going to go on a rant before this show is over with, thinking about the Lakers and how much I really want to beat those dudes. But I'm trying to contain myself now. My energy level isn't quite there yet. But I am amped about this series, man. I don't think you understand how bad I want the Grizzlies to beat this team for so many reasons. It's the LeBron James factor. We know here's my thing, man. I will admit that Memphis has a I don't know what the word I'm trying to say. It's not an inferiority complex, but like we always think somebody's against us. We always think, you know what I mean, that somebody's out to get us, or, you know, that they're trying to little man us or little boy us. And I deal with it. You know what I mean? When the Grizzlies first got here and 21-year-old Anthony Sain was taking his money, his checks from Foot Locker, and buying a power pack for however much they cost back then. They came with 5, 6 limited tickets. It would bother me to see our games returning to road games against the Los Angeles Lakers when they had Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone. That it was around that time, that team. Just over the years to see that. And then when LeBron came to town, it'd be the same thing. And it just to get both of those in one package, an opportunity to slay that demon. Me personally, this could be my vindication, Jason Smith. And I don't think I'm the only person that feels this way about this whole take. I really want to beat this team. I really want to make short work of them. I really want to like just go find random Laker fans and just tag them on Twitter every time we win a game. And I'm confident that the Grizzlies are going to win this series. When I say Grizzlies in 5, I mean it. In my heart of hearts, I feel the sweep coming. But I'm saying Grizz in 5, but I could very well see the Grizzlies sweeping this team. Because quite frankly, Jason Smith, I'm going to stand on this. The Grizzlies have had one of the best home records in the NBA. The best home record in the NBA. I think they lost, 6 games. And some of those games were throwaways at the end of the season, just being honest with you. Let's be for real. If the Grizzlies get up 2-0 on the Lakers, which I think is going to happen, this series is over. And all the narratives are going to be, well, you know, the Lakers haven't lost at home yet. If the Lakers get down 2-0, they're going to fold and this series is going to be over. And I'm amazed that people are just kind of ignoring that whole fact that the Grizzlies don't lose at home. And it's like, I feel like if the Grizzlies get up 2-0, this thing's a wrap. I really want to act a fool when I come on you guys' show tomorrow and really talk about the Lakers. But right now I'm going to be a little bit more reserved. I don't know why. It might come out as the show goes on, though. But I hand it over to you, Jason Smith. What are your thoughts on the series? Do you feel as vindictive as I feel? Is 21-year-old Anthony Sain is inside of me still feeling the way towards the Lakers and feeling the way towards LeBron James?
Oh, I want to beat him as bad as you do. I would say this, though, as much as you can point to, and I would, the home court advantage, and as good as I feel about the Grizzlies, unlike last year when it was an issue, I feel good about them going up 2-0, saying then you got to go out there. And you're talking about they're going to fold up the Lakers at that point if you get them down 2-0, winning like you're technically supposed to at home. But Memphis was 16-25 on the road this year. It to a point that I don't even think it's the same team when it's going on the road. And sure, maybe it's different in these playoffs and they flip a switch, but I haven't gotten to a point where I trust the Grizzlies on the road like I do at home. So listen, I'll be honest with you. You're the first person I've heard even mention the possibility of a sweep. Like you picked 5 games, but you said you wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if it was a sweep because you still got to go out there to crypto and win those 2 out there. I'm more hoping, saying I'll just kind of go play off your scenario there. I'm hopeful that they can get one of those 2 and that you come back.
Game 5.
Come back in game 5. I mean, to me, like that seems like best case scenario. Your game 5.
That's the most realistic scenario.
Yeah, because I just don't see the Grizzlies going out to LA and winning both. I hope I'm wrong. I hope all of a sudden, this team now is ready to win on the road. They can just flip a switch, but the road issues, for whatever reason, role players not the same, everything else, they've just had the issues all year long. So I'm with you on my confidence level in terms of the Grizzlies being able to advance, but I think it's going to be a little bit tougher series than maybe you do.
Bro, here's the thing, too. I watched the Lakers go to overtime with the Utah Jazz.
We all saw it.
I saw them lose to the Clippers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis coming back because they wanted to win their game. They did not want to be in the play-in. The Lakers were not okay with playing the Grizzlies at the 2 seed. They wanted to get out of the play-in. I saw them play against the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. And the Clippers team, I don't know if they want to win that game or not. And the Clippers beat their ass. I saw this team battle with the Minnesota Timberwolves without Rudy Gobert, without Jay McDaniels, who's been good, Anthony Edwards was trash. Karl Anthony Towns was huge in the first half, got in foul trouble, and just really disappeared towards the end of the game. I saw Mike Conley and I saw Mike Conley, Kyle Anderson, and the dude that looks like a fake. What's the kid's name who used to play for the Grizzlies? DeMar Carroll, the new version. Tarian Prince. I saw those three dudes battle against LeBron and them. It almost beat their ass, bro. Like, I'm not taking that Lakers team serious. If I'm wrong, hell, I'm wrong. You lost to one of the greatest players of all time, and one of the greatest big men of all time, Anthony Davis. Regardless of his reputation with injuries, Anthony Davis is one of the most ridiculous big men in the history of the game. If you lose to that team, you lose to him. I don't see it. I think we're gonna beat the hell out of this team, and I'm fine with it. I've seen the Grizzlies be in coast mode for about the past month, like experimenting with this. Jaws back. Oh, okay, let's rest these guys. We've been resting guys. We've been taking guys in and out of the lineup. We've been trying to get Roddy going. You know, we're going to kill this team, bro. Like they're not as good as us. And I know they're going to try to put Jared Vanderbilt on Ja Morant. Good luck with it, bro. I mean, I know he's kind of versatile. He's a big that can guard smaller players. Nah. Because somebody got to guard Desmond Bane. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to make Anthony Davis get out from under the paint. Nah, man. I think we're going to know how this series is going to go after game one. And by saying that, I think the Grizzlies are going to jump out big on the Lakers and really make them look extremely outmatched. And I think you're going to see that in game one.
The only way that it happens the way you're going, and I hope, believe me, I'm not hating on what you said. I'm hoping what you said is true. But the only way they dominate the way you're talking about is if Jaren Jackson Jr. is not in foul trouble. You said everything.
Yeah, that's a big asterisk. Yeah,
everything you just saw about the Lakers and how bad they looked in situations where they should have looked better. But what you've also seen is the Grizzlies on the floor without Jaren Jackson Jr. and how they can't stop a nosebleed without him. So if any kind of way he's in, so your scenario, it has to go against what happened in the regular season where he had 5 fouls in each game. And as a result, wasn't nearly as impactful as he could have been in those games. It has to go completely opposite. He has to stay out of foul trouble if they're going to be able to dominate this series. And that's where I think I'm with you. The confidence, everything else, there's a chance Grizzlies dominate. But they're not doing that if Jaren Jackson Jr. is in foul trouble. So back to your point, how he's officiated, these referees. Man, it's so funny. As much as we hate on Draymond Green, as much a clown as he is, forget the podcast he just put out where he picked Forget the podcast he just put out where he picked the Lakers, and he actually says some real stuff. Remember the one a couple of months ago when he said the key to the Grizzlies' playoff hopes is Jaren Jackson Jr. and foul trouble. And I'll be dead. He is dead on when it comes to that. So I'm with you. All those things that you said can happen. They can dominate this series if Jaren Jackson Jr. can stay on the floor and is allowed to stay on the floor and can control his own.
Which is also why. Right, exactly. Which is also why a guy like Xavier Tillman is such a big deal. I got a feeling he's really going to show up. I got a feeling he's going to be big in this series. If he can just play big, get rebounds, defend. He's a very underrated defender. He's played very well against Anthony Davis. I think he's going to get the defensive assignment on Anthony Davis instead of Jaren. To kind of let Jaren kind of roam a little bit defensively. You got Jared Vanderbilt, who's the other big. Jaren can cheat off of him. He can rim protect. I think that's a key. I think if Xavier Tillman can play well in this series, that's a big deal. There are a lot of people talking about X factors. I think one of the bigger X factors is X himself, Xavier Tillman. I think if he could play well against Anthony Davis and allow Jaren to roam, Jared Vanderbilt could very well be a liability. If the Lakers have a guy on there that's not an offensive threat like Vanderbilt won't be, especially not from distance, and Jaren can cheat off of him and just roam around the basket and defend, it can get nasty quickly. It can get nasty quickly, bro. You know what I mean? And I think it's one of those situations where if you're saying Vanderbilt's your best defender, if he's almost unplayable, if he's making where Jaren can't cheat and Tillman is able to play Davis, honestly, that could be a real problem.
That's how they dominate. There you go. If they can keep that lineup, keep Tillman out there, and aren't forced to go to a lineup where it's Jaren at the 5 and he's the only answer for AD, I'm with you. That's the scenario.
I think that's going to be crucial. I think that's crucial. For sure.
Tillman will not be intimidated. 6 playoff starts last year. Played Jokic, Embiid, Anthony Davis in a row this year in the regular season. So he's already been asked to sort of do this. Just hold your own and help keep Jaren out of foul trouble. Doing so.
And if you can get anything out of Santi, if Santi can be any kind of presence when he comes in his minutes, you're talking about, real matchup problems for sure.
Yes.
The other thing, let's talk about it. The boogeyman. The is it pink elephant? Yeah, the pink elephant in the room. I think it's a much bigger deal. I'm worried about it. I'm not gonna tell you I'm not losing sleep thinking about it. The player that I think we talk about him all so often that I really think could swing this series either one way or another, being honest, regardless of what Jaren's doing, whatever John's doing. I think if this person either plays far left or he plays far right, and I'm talking about Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
If Dylan Brooks has a series where he contains LeBron James, I know he's going to try to intimidate LeBron, which I think is suicide. But I know he's going to try it. I'm hoping he doesn't put a battery in LeBron's back. But I think if he could just contain LeBron, and I think if he could just make LeBron work on both ends, not taking crazy shots, not trying to be a hero, just being an agitator, making LeBron work, I think that you will see. I think that that can really swing this series if Dylan can be big. In the same way, if he gets out there and he agitates Bron, or he says something to get LeBron going, it can get nasty fast if LeBron gets going. But here's the thing I'll say too. I'm not really super worried about Dylan. I'm not super worried about LeBron. LeBron is still that dude. We saw him score 30 points the other night. LeBron is 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's a Superman out there for sure. I'm not gonna say that's not the LeBron that me in my 20s grew up on that I've been seeing here lately. Right. It's a totally different game for him. You know what I mean? So it's not the LeBron I grew up in my 30s. You know what I mean?
Well, and he's had to your point saying he's had to grind to get here. He had 40-something minutes the other night against Minnesota, to get back to this spot and come off the injury. Like he's had to go hard. Maybe a little bit more worn down LeBron than previous years.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I'm just not worried about these dudes, bro. Like I'm confident the Grizzlies have the pieces to. We haven't really talked about Desmond Bane a lot, who we know is going to show up. We haven't talked about Luke Kennard coming off the bench, who can just light you up in bunches. Tyus Jones is going to be rock solid off the bench. You expect all those things to happen. A guy like David Roddy, just come in, keep the ball moving, play defense, hustle, get to the basket, get some fouls. That type of stuff is all we really need from him. I'm excited, man, and I really think the Grizzlies are going to play well. I think they're going to show up on this huge stage. I'm looking forward to Sunday for sure. Make sure you guys come check out my watch party I'm having with my good friends at Hooters downtown.
Woo!
The Two Broke for tickets. The watch party. Make sure y'all come check that out. Game starts at 2. Typically, when somebody has a watch party, they have all kind of giveaways for you and all type of promotions. I ain't got that for you. I ain't got nothing to give you.
You build it.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to give you, man. Just show up.
You at Hooters. That's as official.
You at Hooters, man. What else you want, man? You got beautiful women around you.
Hooters. Yeah.
Yeah, you got beautiful women around you. That's all I got for you, man. That's all I got for you. It's beer and women. I ain't buying you a beer. Matter of fact, I would love you to buy me one. But typically, if you go to if you go to like an official Grizzlies joint or a Grizzly Bear Blues, every time out, you got cheerleaders and they got a giveaway for you, t-shirts and koozies and all. They ain't got nothing for you.
That's on Sunday for the game, right? Same for our listeners. That's on Sunday for the game.
We know your broke ass couldn't afford no tickets to the game.
So expensive.
Hooters, there's gonna be a lot of fans there. And this is what you could do. You could come down to the plaza, which is like right there at the FedEx Forum outside. Wow. You could pregame and parlay and flies like you really got tickets, do you? And just slide over to Hooters, kick it with your boy, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Sounds good, right?
I'll be there. Yeah. I'll be there. Gabe might be there. Gabe is a Hooters guy. He likes.
I bet.
You let CJ go to Hooters, bro.
Chris has. I'm trying. My stepson. I took repeatedly. I don't think Chris has made his first trip to Hooters yet.
For real. Oh man, the girls in there love Gabe, and he loves them. Gabe loves to be told that he's a handsome little dude. Like he loves that, bro. Especially the girls say.
Yeah, big Gabe blushing at them ladies.
Yeah, he like to take pictures with them. Yeah, Gabe think he that dude. A little Hugh Hefner in that job, bro. For real.
You probably got the spot. After became the Lakers, those tickets really got too expensive. So you're gonna have a
$2 for tickets, man. Y'all come check it out. Come check it out. My good people at Hooters, man. 2 p.m. is game start. Come check it out. You guys are listening to the Grind Season here on the free Odyssey app or wherever you listen to podcasts, or you're probably watching us on the Odyssey Sports page on YouTube. We just wrapped up the first section talking about the initial matchup, Grizz versus Lakers. I think it's going to be a wash. Jason Smith feels like it's going to be close, but I still think both of us believe the series is over in 5. I think the Grizzlies win the 2 at home. They're going to get 1 in LA, and they're going to get their ass up out of there in Memphis, and there's going to be a party in Game 5 because we're going to watch them the hell up out of it. We both agree with that. I think these analysts have lost their mind.
Officially saying I got 6 games that they end up winning games. My official prediction is Grizz in 6. They win out there in LA the 6th. That it's going to end up 2-2. Yeah,
you think they win the 2 in LA?
That LA wins both out there. That's my official. Okay. Grizzlies come back, get the 3rd win at home, and then finally Memphis is able to close out in LA in Game 6. So that's my official.
That too. Yeah. I think we get one out of their ass in LA, bro.
I hope so.
That first game was trash. The second game, I mean, Desmond Bane was still hurt back then, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The second game, we beat him. Third game, Ja didn't play. Something happened in the third game. Well, we were shorthanded, something like that.
You hit the nail on the head. Is that Desmond Bane was not right in all 3. Three. If you add up the 3 Laker games, he only hit 2 threes. Now, you're talking about a guy that averaged 22 points in the month of March on 50% shooting and 40 from 3. Like, he's a different Desmond Bane right now than he was in those 3 Lakers games. So what you said, that I don't worry about Desmond Bane at all in these games. He is not going to be as ineffective as he was in the regular season games. Especially if they bring in
Laker fans. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, especially if guys like Vanderbilt are on Ja, who's on Desmond Bane? What are we talking about?
Reeves is one of them dudes.
D'Lo or Reeves? I mean, he's gonna eat them up. So
yeah,
I have no concerns about Desmond Bane because we've seen it over the past month and now 10, 11 days into April, whatever it is. Yeah. He's back close to what he was those first couple of months of the season.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's going down for sure. And other information we want to talk about today, there's going to be a lot of first-timers out there, Jason Smith, for the Grizzlies. That is one of my definite concerns. There are 3 guys on your active roster who have, well, I'm not counting guys who definitely aren't going to play, but there are 3 guys who could possibly make their playoff debut for the Grizzlies. That's not particularly a good thing. I'm not extremely worried about it, especially not in this series, because there's a lot of guys on that Lakers side who this is their first time, getting any real time in the playoffs as well. So I'm not really worried about it. Those 3 guys are Santi Aldama, who's played a lot of minutes. He's been your backup 4, your backup 5 throughout the entire season. Seen a lot of him. David Roddy, who's gotten more minutes in the second half of the season as opposed to the first, playing that small forward and also some small ball 4 lineups for the team. And also Kenneth Lofton Jr., who just signed a 4-year, $7 million contract. I'm still amazed at how good of a deal that could possibly turn out. Because if he's any type of rotation player over the next 3 to 4 years, which I think he's going to be, he's going to have one of the most valued contracts in the league, man. Like, that's not even $2 million a year for Kenneth Lofton for the next 4 years. So, but yeah, those 3 guys. Of those 3 guys, I'll just put this out. I would love for this not to be the case, because I think Kenneth Lofton could have at least one crazy playoff game where he's really an issue for these guys, a real problem. But I think in a real world scenario, I think he probably plays less minutes than anybody. I think the minutes as far as those 3 guys will be Santi, Roddy, and Kenneth Lofton will be far behind everyone else. Yeah. I hate that.
No, I think you're right.
I hate that because
why do you hate it?
I think that if Kenneth Lofton had to play, I could see him having one of those playoff games, bro. Those playoff moments where it's just like some random dude, just like it was. I can't remember who it was for Golden State last year, but just came in the game and just kind of kicked us in the ass, man. Like, it was kind of like gut punch points he was scoring. I can't remember who the dude was. But it's always that one dude for every team. It's like, man, we had everything scouted out. Who is this dude? You know what I mean? Like, I think he could have one of those crazy games for us. And I'm sorry, man.
Isn't it a bad sign of what is going on in that game if Roddy gets in?
Yeah, if he's out there like that. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about Junior, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about, my bad. I'm talking about Lofton Junior, yes. Isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to play.
A bad sign to me if he's having to go in. So
I mean, something happened. But Jaren's going to have is going to have a foul trouble game. Jaren will have a foul trouble game. Like, that's happening against somebody.
Oh, it's
and we'll probably have to. I'm a big Kenneth Lofton fan for sure. So, but like I said, man, like to your point, if he's out there, that means something happened.
No, it's
something bad happened for sure.
I trust that you may get. I have the most trust in Santi to sum up the three. I think we all do, just in terms of what you could get through a stretch for him. But I will say, if there's a minute or two that Roddy can get in there and those other guys aren't hitting threes, and he does, I think there's some opportunity for him. So Roddy and Santi, I think, have shown us enough this year that I trust them, hopefully, in what are some limited roles, not just against the Lakers, but going forward in the rest of the playoffs.
And I can see Santi being a problem against his Lakers team, man. Like I can see him kind of being a lower version of what Jaren does on the court. You know what I mean? Offensively, of course, and especially not defensively. He's not as strong as Jaren. I can't believe we're calling Jaren strong, but Santi's not as strong as Jaren is. But Santi, we've seen Santi have some huge games. We've dished out a lot of Santi Aldama seasoning throughout the season. So you know what I mean. So I'm not really concerned with that. Like I said, those three guys will be getting their first times in the playoffs. I'm not really concerned about that, but that does go into the bigger issue, which will be Taylor Jenkins' rotations against the Lakers. The Lakers team has a lot of, the Lakers team isn't deep at all. They play a lot of guys who aren't experienced. They're kind of some hodgepodge of guys, the Rui Hachimuras of the world. What's his name? Troy Brown, is that his name? Mm-hmm. Those type of guys. You got a lot of those just, odd pieces that they're kind of fitting together on this Lakers team. What's the kid's name who was big the other night?
Beasley, you got to be concerned about.
Yeah, Beasley could be a problem. Well, what's his name? Used to have a little patch of blonde in his hair.
Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder has one of the most he has very wide shoulders. Anyway. but anyway,
he's well put together, man. Little Dennis, he's well put together. He's like slick, athletic, and fast. He's not. He was not fully healthy, but he's he hurt them in that game in that some game.
Who was because he was a pretty high draft pick too. He was getting compared to somebody. Was he getting Rajon Rondo comps or something?
Might have been.
He was getting some type of comps when he came out. He's been a guy who's been around for a lot of teams. He's a good player. I like him. He's fine. He kind of reminds you of Reggie Jackson a little bit. Their games almost identical to me. But yeah, I'm not worried about those dudes, man. I'm not really worried about Taylor Jenkins and his rotations either. I think he's going to try to play deep starting off, and I think he'll probably see he can't do that, and he'll just I don't think a guy like John Conchar gets many minutes at all. I was
going to ask, are they? Is he out? Is Conchar and I'm assuming Zaire too? You're going to put them behind. You're going to put Zaire behind Roddy. But where is Conchar? Is he going to start with Conchar before Roddy? If we gotten to a point now where you throw Roddy out first, because I'm not looking forward to any Conchar minutes at all.
His season rotation suggests that he's going to play Roddy.
Yep. The way he did it down the stretch.
I could very well be wrong. His like I said, his season. Hold on, fam. Yeah, my Siri kicked on, but no, I think his nothing suggests in the season that Conchar is going to get those minutes. Like towards the end of the season, I think that you're going to see Roddy get all those minutes or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, but I can't deal with John Conchar, man. I can't deal with it all. I've seen this before, and of course he's going to play and he's going to be good. Just to spite me. It won't be spiting me because I'll be happy for it. But I don't predict it. I don't see it happening. I think Roddy's going to get the minutes. I think you're going to see a little bit of Conchar just, because if you're going to start with Roddy's probably going to struggle too. You're going to try to see what you can get from Conchar a little bit. Or you're just going to play your guys a lot more minutes. You're going to play Dillon if he's not in foul trouble. You're going to play Dez if he's not in foul trouble. Yeah. You're just going to give those guys more run. Plus, you got Kennard, of course, who can really come out there and change things. That's pretty much what I see. I'm not really worried about his rotations. I think that because you remember, man, Tyus Jones didn't even play a lot, over the years for us. Ja's been dominating those minutes. So I don't think
take those regular season minutes caps that they've been take those and it's no time now. You got to throw it out the garbage.
You're definitely going to see your guys. Yeah, you're definitely going to roll out your guys, the top guys, whatever. I'm good with that. I'm not really concerned about the new guys. I think there's minutes to be sporadic. We both kind of agree that Junior Loftus is probably not going to play at all. I hate to see it because I think I can see your Junior getting in here and just working somebody's ass in the playoffs, bro. But I
It's
don't know.
gonna happen.
Maybe it's just
Sain down the road. Yeah.
Yes, down the road for sure. And you guys, of course, are listening to the Grind Season podcast here on the free Odyssey app or wherever you listen to podcasts. We've been talking about, of course, the biggest thing on the court that's soon to come this weekend, which is, of course, the Memphis Grizzlies hosting the Los Angeles Lakers for the first 2 games of the playoffs, the 2 versus the 7. Talked about how disgusting the Lakers look against against the Minnesota Timberwolves and how we both think this would be a Grizzlies win in round 1. Final segment of the show, going to talk about more off the court stuff. The story that just will never end, Jason Smith. We didn't predict that it will, but it's taking a very interesting twist. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and of course, we're talking about the Ja Morant news coming out that he will be countersuing Joshua Holloway. Joshua Holloway's name is out there now. It's being reported on, all these type of things. And this news came out today. I got a phone call today. Someone was saying that they think that Joshua's signing day was today or something like that. And it was like, man, Josh just
was a Sanford signing day. Josh, I'm not sure if it was today, but I knew it this week. I think so.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so I don't know if it's the eve of it or anything. I don't know, but something about him and his signing day. I said this the last time we talked about this, man. It's nasty. It's ugly, and there are names involved and faces involved, and you know what I mean? This is one of those just grimy parts of this whole situation. I don't really have much for it. I'm ready to talk about basketball. I truly don't give a shit about this at this point. You know what I mean? I want to see the Grizzlies go out and win a game, and I want to see Ja Morant, play like crazy. I want to see him avenge some demons, avenge some ghosts. It does not look like Ja Morant's going to make an All-NBA team. I'm totally shocked. I think the Ja's had a hell of a season, but this off-the-court stuff does seem to be playing a part in it. You know what I mean? I know that guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are predicted to be on the first team. That's all well and good, but, he was a crazy run away from not even making the playoffs. And you're talking about, first team All-NBA. But I'm not really here to throw shade, but I mean, I think that's a real thing that Ja Morant's not making an All-NBA team. If you look at the returns so far, stuff that's coming out, which is crazy too. This has to be the first year that stuff is like. I'm thinking this is the first year, but it's not. This is not the first year that those returns are out there because it's got Jaren in the lead too, with like 25% of the voters in. You've seen it? I didn't know that was the thing.
I hadn't seen the early returns. I've seen the individuals playing a big style, but I hadn't seen the early returns.
Yeah, the early returns have Jaren in the lead for the.
You really offended that Ja's not gonna make All NBA? Saying I've been telling you for weeks that $40 million was.
I thought for sure that people were gonna be like, nah, man.
No,
it's bullshit though, Smith. Like, still with that, man, it's bullshit. Like, this is the second best team in the West. He's top 10 in scoring. How is he not making one of the 3 All NBA teams? Like, that's insane to me. But all right, I get it. But I clearly understand why it's happening. But I still think it's bullshit. You know what I mean? But
I mean, you could argue that he put his team in jeopardy with getting suspended for 8 games. There was no guarantee the Grizzlies were going to come out of that the way they did, which is a credit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you could argue. I'm saying one could argue that in terms that you could have cost your team.
I get it. I just think it's trash.
Yeah.
I get it. I just totally think it's trash.
When you combine it with the off-court stuff, the fact that he was gone from his team for 8 games, it could have cost them. It didn't. But then you combine it with the performances of the rest of the guards this year. The competition's increased this year. And that's even with having Luka as a small forward. So I don't know. I'm shaking my head at everybody that seems surprised by this because I've been saying it for weeks that
I'm surprised. I trusted humanity.
Chance. Yeah. You were going to trust broadcasters and writers who can just based on opinion alone and not like Ja, not pick him. And so you were going to really trust them. It's a bad. The process itself is awful that you've got Ja Morant's money being determined by broadcasters and writers who may have inherent bias, who may feel, hey, somebody gets involved in anything off the court, that matters to me, so I ain't count whatever. But this was always going to be the issue, and it's funny that it's not funny at all. Ja using the Holloway story is, reason why he's not getting there. It's not just that, man. It's also that some of these guards, I would tell you SGA had a hell of a year. You know, he deserves what he's gonna get. The one for me, I guess,
like 10th, you can't be 10th in the West, and I'm giving you first team All NBA. I'm sorry, bro. That standings matter to me when it comes down to stuff like that.
Dude, he is the reason them folks didn't tank, man. That dude, he changed everything about their season. They're supposed to be in the gutter. They're in the. They got a chance to be in the playoffs because of dude. Like the one for me is Dame, but the argument for Dame is that he averaged more points than Ja. The issue is games played for some of these people, and the problem is I think the 58 is one more than he played when one more than Ja Morant played all of last year. Ja was 57 games last year, made second team All NBA. So to say that Dame can't be All NBA because he played 58 games that argument doesn't work.
I can just say that he shouldn't be All NBA because he's at the bottom of the West.
Use common sense on that one. Look at where Portland is in the standings, and look at where Memphis is. And if it came down to those two, like I said, I would have picked Ja Morant, but I'm not surprised.
Right. It's just kind of crazy to me. I know this is what we're talking. We're supposed to be talking about the Josh Holloway thing, but we can stay here too. But the
Josh Holloway thing includes the All NBA. Josh saying this is going to cost me All NBA.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me because it's like I was listening to Chris Vernon's podcast, like a little quick segment of it was on Twitter or something. There was like you would think that the Grizzlies just kind of magically did all this. Like there's a reason why we are where we are in the standings, and it's like you want to downplay Jaren Jackson, you want to downplay Desmond Bane, you're not voting Ja Morant as an All NBA player. So how did we get here? You know, how do we make it where we are if we don't have awesome players on this team? That's where I'm at with it. As far as the whole Josh Holloway thing, it's disgusting, man. We know this kid. We know exactly who Joshua Holloway is, bro. You know what I mean? You cover preps. I know the city. I know who Joshua Holloway is. It's sick, man. It's I hate to see it. I hate how this could end up. I really wish this could have got handled in a much more civil manner. I wish this could have got handled last year. I wish both sides could have walked away with whatever they were looking for, and this could have been done. But the way it's getting now is getting nasty, man. And I hate it. I hate talking about it. As you see, we transition this back into talking about on the court stuff and awards and all those type of things. Oh, and we did mention this. I forgot to really put emphasis on this. Jaren Jackson Jr. so far, with the limited amount of votes that are out there, is in the lead for Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to win it. I'm confident Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to win it. If Evan Mobley was coming in out of nowhere with it, and if he had won it, Evan Mobley would have been the youngest player in the history of the league to win Defensive Player of the Year. But I think Jaren's going to win it. He will be one of the youngest players. Jaren, Dwight Howard was the youngest ever, because if Jaren had won last year, he would have been the youngest ever. Dwight Howard's the youngest ever. Kawhi Leonard was pretty young when he won it. Jaren might be the second youngest, maybe. But I'm super excited. It does look like Jaren's going to win that award simply because I don't think anybody's going to vote and not put Jaren in their top three. And he's probably going to lead in the first place votes too. So I think Jaren's going to win it.
Frankly, he's been the Grizzlies MVP of the season.
Yeah. If you really want to be honest about it. Yep. And I'll throw this out to you. As we close, Jason Smith. No, I don't want to throw this out. I'll throw it out, but we ain't got to talk about it. You just leave you something to say about. If Jaren Jackson Jr. wins Defensive Player of the Year, where does his season rank all time as far as all time single accomplished Memphis Grizzlies season? I think only one player season.
Mark was an all-star that year. He won Defensive Player of the Year. I'm assuming that was one of his
all-star Defensive Player of the Year and first team All-NBA, first or second team All-NBA.
That's gonna be hard to top it.
That's the nastiest one. That's the nastiest one.
Yeah.
But Ja was second team All-NBA, most improved, all-star.
Oh, that's right. He did get most improved last year. You're right.
Yeah. Jaren would be all-star. Defensive Player of the Year, first team All Defense. You assume, and I think All NBA. I think no All NBAs. That's not gonna happen. It's up there though, man. Yeah, it'll be up there for sure.
Next year, I think, if the offense continues to blow up,
you
can get that next year.
For sure. Exciting times, Jason Smith.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when we're gonna do a show again next week. Hopefully, by the time we have it, we'll be up 2-0. By the time that happens, I'll be super excited about that. But like I said, come check me out at Hooters during the game. You know your broke ass ain't got no tickets. Quit crying about the tickets. Just come watch the game on the big screens at Hooters. Beautiful women, cold beer. You right there about a thing. You can flodge. But I'm saying members of Flodge in ass city. If I can set you up to flodge like you really finna go to the game, go out to the plaza, kick it, do all the little celebration with the kids. Slide your broke ass over to Hooters with me for the 2 broke for tickets. Watch party. Start at 2 p.m. Sunday. We will see you guys. Go Grizz and keep grinding.